Hey everybody, it's me, Andrew. Get out into nature and tune in for yourself. Resonate with the Earth's electromagnetic field via 432 Hertz, the universal frequency. Balance out psychologically and emotionally, and further strengthen your brain and your heart's coherence as well. Get a plant based diet going for yourselves today and to nurture yourself right back into life. We are literally herbivores in our nature. Further balance out your physical body's pH level and get with alkalinity. Then you can generate some static electricity, send me some love telepathically, set attention to your mind, and set intention to communicate. That is all there is to telepathy. You are now tuning in to great days. So, this evening I'm going to talk on control of perception and how there are occults pretty much controlling the globe or controlling human perception. And I'm just going to go into depth on this. All right. So, let's get into this. All right. So there is various different occults that span out globally, right? That have established themselves here on the globe for millennia ago, right? Or maybe even eons. Um, and their purpose here is to pretty much control human perception, right? And they control human perception through information and the media, and pretty much they are keeping people within a certain dimension of awareness, right? And what they do is they put out a certain algorithm, put out certain information in all of the scriptings of the media. So whatever you're watching on media, right? Most of it is going to be pretty much owned and controlled by this occult, right? And they're pretty much controlling perception. So perception is pretty much our reality, right? So if they're controlling our perception, they are controlling our reality. And they're doing this to once again keep us within a certain dimension of awareness so they could keep the matrix sustained, right? And they work through the moon. So the moon is actually a satellite, and the moon is actually, it caves in, or you can go inside the moon, and the moon they have various different technologies that we can't really explain, or I can explain, that makes it very very simple for them to control perception here on the earth, right? So there's many different ways that they're actually controlling our perception, but it's all just one system, right? That ties into itself. Wherever whatever area of the system you're going to explain is going to connect with any other area of that same system. So I like to go to media because media is very simple to explain. Because most of the media, it's pretty much owned, right, by asset management firms, and these people are pretty much they're playing a pretty big role in deciding what gets put out into the media. And the information that you're consuming is deciding your perception, right? So whatever you're watching, and it's on social media too. Social media is pretty much the exact same thing. Television, news, all of this is just programming you and conditioning you, right? And conditions are physicalities. You know, they're only conditioning you to keep you within a physical state, within this certain dimension of consciousness, so that we don't actually transcend into deeper states of awareness. even if you have methods to transcend, it's still only going to be a certain level that you're going to be able to reach, but you're never going to actually be able to reach a level that is beyond what isn't allowed to this controlling hand, you know? Uh, so even if you're expanding your awareness, it's going to be very hard to break through into something that is beyond what this controlling hand is allowing or is not allowing, right? So the media, and I'm just using the media, but there's like multiple different areas that are actually doing this, because you can stay off of the media completely, and they're still going to be able to control you or your perception, right? Because they've kind of already encapsulated most of the population, the globe's population, right? And it's kind of only getting more severe right now. And and it's just kind of escalating, you know. So control perception, how to break through it as much as you can, or bring down the amount of control of your perception that you are consuming or that you are allowing within your life, at least takes uh an awareness of the control, you know. So like first you have to become aware that what information that you're consuming is leading to a conditioning or even a certain programming that you don't want to go along with, right? So you need to come into that state of awareness, which is allowed, in order to move in a way or shift to a way that is going to free you up from some of the information that you're consuming that is leading to a deeper conditioning or a deeper programming, you know. And this takes an expansion of awareness, so you got to expand your awareness first and then work from there, you know. Which whenever you start expanding your awareness, it kind of just comes to you naturally. Like if you expand your awareness, it makes itself known to you, because it's usually unknown to most people until you start becoming aware. Then it appears to you that okay, everybody's being controlled completely, everybody's brainwashed, and it's terrible, you know, because it's it's extreme, right? But most people aren't able to see this because most people aren't aware of it, and it only gets you're only able to see more and more of it as you become more and more aware. But this actually allows you to align yourself in a certain position, which is going to allow you to free yourself up from the very information that you're consuming that is leading to your personal encapsulation, right? But then you got to keep in mind as well, because these are global controllers. They have an eye on everybody, right? And they aren't human, so it's they aren't human, so they can very very easily keep eyes on you if you are I guess posing a threat. it makes it very easy for these people or these beings to just move you back into a control, you know. And most of us aren't actually capable enough to get past these people, but there are ways, right? And avoiding the control is as simple as avoiding the information that leads to your personal conditioning and programming that is supporting your own enslavement, right? Because that's all it is. It's enslavement. Uh, that they're enslaving you through perception, right? Because they're controlling your perception because information is perception and perception is reality. So they can decide your reality through the information that you're consuming, right? So you're consuming a certain type of information, you are going to want to move yourself to a position which is not which is going to allow you to consume healthier information, right? And in this way you can actually free yourself up a little bit more subconsciously, because a lot of it is in the subconscious because it's a quantum entanglement, right? Because they're entangling us and they're giving us unnecessary karma, and we're carrying this out for lifetime upon lifetime within reincarnation systems. And we don't need to be staying in reincarnation systems because they're kind of using this as this is a part of a type of slavery, right? So we can actually free ourselves up. We can liberate ourselves if we understand how to shift ourselves appropriately to be able to consume less of the information that is being transmitted out or in us to decondition ourselves, you know, or stop piling the conditioning so that we can shed the layer of conditioning, right? But in order to do this, you need to free yourself from the information that is causing the conditioning in the first place, right? Because the conditions are keeping you in the physical reality. The programs are keeping you supporting the conditioning, right? Um, and it's just an enslavement, and people are supporting this, right? Because they're brainwashed into supporting their own enslavement. So to avoid it, you got to stop consuming the information that is causing the cycle, right? And what you got to do is you got to stop something that you've been doing for a very long time to break whatever rhythm that you have been in order to bring in space, and that space is going to allow you to change things, but then you got to make the appropriate change as well, or the appropriate shift in order to be able to decrease the conditioning and the programs or deprogram yourself, right? And when you begin deprogramming yourself, there's a lot of energy that is brought back to you, right? Because you're subconsciously wasting energy, your life energy, on supporting things and moving things and doing things. You're entangled in many activity, or you're entangled subconsciously or quantumly entangled with things, or sustaining the matrix from programs or algorithms, whatever it is, that has been transmitted to you from people who are in higher knowledges of it. So you can like trust. But if you want to make a more rapid change and liberate yourself more deeply, you have to deprogram and dissolve away the conditioning. So you got to stop consuming the information, because the information that you're consuming is altering your reality, right? So you got to know which information you're going to consume to alter your reality in the way that is going to allow you for the highest ascension for yourself and for the other peoples around you. You know, you got to understand that you're traveling the multiverse, right? And everybody around you don't actually exist, and you don't actually exist either. But you can go in and out of it. You can go in and out of you can go in and out of the identifications with existence and non-existence, uh, in order to shift properly into higher realities, or higher vibrational states, or higher dimensional understandings, right? Which is what it is going to require, because it's not just purely one dimension forever, or a fixed dimension. It's sequences of multiple dimensions into infinity, and non-dimension, right? So existence and non-existence, back and forth, right? And your perception, the information that you're consuming, is deciding the various different sequences that you're taking, and you got to understand the most healthiest sequences in order to come into a healthier and higher state of consciousness. Otherwise, if the sequences that they're giving you are unhealthy, you're going to find yourself in a lower state of awareness. You're going to find yourself cycling in insanity and ignorance, and you're going to find yourself sick, you know, and imbalanced, and powerless, and this can go on forever, but it doesn't go on absolutely, because everything is temporary, right? So you can wait for things to change, or you can accelerate that process, you know, which is the alchemy of it. So there's multiple ways to go about doing it, but a very simple way is just avoiding the information that you have observed and seen to be bringing you as an individual, or you as a collective, into supporting your own enslavement, right? Or your own powerlessness, or your own sickness, or your own disease, right? So you just don't support what is bringing you misery. Go with what is bringing you bliss, because what is bringing you bliss is bringing you consciousness, right? Or bringing you love, because bliss is love, and love is consciousness, right? So, and this is all health as well. Consciousness is health, because it means you're in a very deeply centered or balanced state. So, and health goes beyond the physical as well, right? There's deep psychological illness all over the globe, and people don't actually see it, but they think it's the normacy because this is one of those programs or conditionings, right? So society is very insane and they're very deeply psychologically sick. But people don't see this because it's the norm, and they've made it the norm because they need people to keep supporting that illness so that they can keep an easy control over the people who are sick. You know, but once again, there you can always heal, and it's gonna be even it's gonna be even easier to heal, and it's gonna be faster than it was to get in this state of illness, right? To be able to heal. But you got to take that leap for yourself in order to do so. Otherwise, it doesn't immediately change, because there's entanglement, and entanglement comes and liberates itself, it frees itself up. But, and that's quantum mechanics, but you can always accelerate that process with applied awareness or or applied consciousness, right? Which is also quantum mechanics, right? And this is all subconscious as well, which is where the warfare is. It's all in the subconscious. So you can't immediately see it, but the subconscious, it is 95% of our reality, and the conscious mind is only 5%, right? So everything that we're conscious of right now, that I'm conscious of right now, is only 5%. So I'm only perceiving about 5%, right? Consciously, and all the rest is subconscious, which most people don't actually dive into the subconscious mind because they're taught not to. And the shadow is very deep, and the shadow is like kind of a gatekeeper for that. Or you got to go through the shadow in order to get into the subconscious, and the shadow keeps you away from this through fear or whatever. So people don't go into the 95% of what is actually going on, but within the 95% is deep psychological illnesses that are easily exposed with the light that you are applying, or the consciousness that you're applying, right? So all the information, all the algorithms, everything that they're doing to keep you within a quantum entanglement with things that you don't actually support, but more so is like a type of enslavement or illness or whatever it is, goes unnoticed until you apply the awareness, right? And that brings about the quantum leap, that brings about the shift, uh, which brings about liberation and enlightenment. And then you can kind of shift yourself in an appropriate position from there, which allows you to liberate yourself, more and more from the systems of control over the mass peoples, and the more that happens, the more that we're able to shift things as a collective, but you got to do it for yourself, and it's very contagious because this is awareness, applied awareness, right? So it's very, very powerful in rippling out and shifting things subconsciously, right? So once you get into that, and it's all quantum, once you get into it, it's easier to free yourself up from the systems, right? But even those systems are going even deeper because they've known about this already for ever, right? So get lost, and that's all you can really do, right? So peace out, one love, and have a great evening.